Hey, it's Whitney from EcoVeganGal.com and welcome back to another Eco Vegan Gal Uncensored, the videos in which I share my thoughts without censorship. If you checked out my video from yesterday, I talked about how I stay positive, and I feel like this is a really important follow-up video. It centers around some thoughts that came up for me after sharing the news on my Eco Vegan Gal Facebook page that Jennifer Lopez has adapted a plant-based diet. As soon as I saw this news, I got really excited. Now, as I mentioned in my video yesterday, I'm innately a very positive person. I'm so grateful for this because I think for a long time I've kind of, well, I guess when you are a certain way, you don't realize that other people aren't that way until experiences happen. So for me, positivity is something I've had most of my life. I've been a very positive person, usually looking on the bright side of things. And so when I heard the news about J-Lo going vegan, I thought, this is awesome, I can't wait to share it. And I posted this up. Within minutes, I started getting a very negative reaction that I thought was so interesting. So first, let's talk a little bit about J-Lo specifically, and then I want to offer some perspective, perhaps some advice that I really think you should consider, and I can't wait to hear your opinion on this. So, Jennifer Lopez. Here's my process with this. I saw the news, and I don't pay that much attention to celebrity gossip, what's going on. I also don't pay that much attention to a certain side of the vegan lifestyle, which is talking about what other people are doing, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. So for me, all I saw was a celebrity has chosen to go vegan, and Jennifer Lopez is an amazing person. You know, much like when Jay-Z and Beyonce went vegan for a little while, it's very exciting because it's in the news, and when you search it on Google, it's all over the place. There are all sorts of resources. She was talking about this on an interview for about 3 minutes straight, which doesn't sound like a lot of time, but if you listen to it, I'll link to it down below. It's really positive. She has so many great things to say. Now, I hadn't listened to the audio interview before I posted this, but when I did listen to it, I discovered that she really is adapting a plant-based diet, not necessarily a vegan lifestyle, and those are two different things, as we'll touch more upon in this video. In the interview, she talks about how her decision to eat more plants was mainly based around being inspired by somebody else. I missed that part of the interview who she was talking about, but somebody who had lost a lot of weight. And the vegan diet is appealing to a lot of people for that reason. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's why Beyonce and Jay-Z, they did it more as like a detox, a cleanse. You find a lot of celebrities doing it for that reason. Now, we can judge people for the reasons that they choose to eat vegan, but really, I think that it doesn't really matter what their reasons are. The fact that anybody is experimenting with the vegan diet, the plant-based diet, for any amount of time, to me is huge progress. So there's a couple different reasons for this, and again, let me add my positive input. One is that it's massively getting massive public attention. It's huge. Think about it. There are so many fans of Jennifer Lopez. She's a really well-known musical artist. She's on American Idol as a judge. She's really in the public eye. She's got a new album coming out. There's so much happening. And so to me, just saying the word vegan and having a positive topic around it, the mindset, if you listen to her interview, it's so positive. And even though the guy interviewing her was teasing her a little bit, she really diffused it and this is amazing. I mean, I don't know how long she's been doing it. I think she said she did it 22 days straight, and then I don't really know what the context in terms of time was, but I just loved the positivity there. So putting a positive vegan message, think about how many people are going to listen to that and say, you know, the vegan diet, I really am a fan of Jennifer Lopez. If she's doing it, and if she says great things about it, and it's helping her lose weight, and she's making it seem so easy, maybe I'll try it. It really takes somebody of big influence to get people to change. So anytime anyone just tries it, even for a short amount of time, that's a huge positive step, in my opinion. So the fact that she's doing it for just dietary reasons, as it was said in this interview, I can't make any assumptions. No one can make assumptions or judgments. Well, we can, but it's not really fair just based on short amounts of information. So if she's just doing it for diet, well, if she's just doing it for weight loss reasons, that's fine. At least she's being introduced to it. Will she stick to it? We don't know. Does it matter if she sticks to it? Well, of course it matters for the animals and for the environment, but you know, somebody's choice of whether to stick to something long term or not is their personal choice. And I feel like any amount of time that somebody can try something is making a huge difference. Going meatless just for one Monday a week makes a massive impact. And if you want to learn more about this, check out Meatless Mondays. There's all these great facts about how just one day a week giving up meat, we're not even talking about all animal products, but just meat in general, how much of an impact that makes. So for someone like Jennifer Lopez, going completely vegan dietary-wise for 22 days, huge impact. And anybody else who tries it, okay? So looking on the positive side of this is all I can see. I'm just excited. I'm excited for any positivity about veganism. Sure, there's room for confusion, and I think, number one, it's interesting that a lot of people have been positioning her, and even maybe she's saying it, that she's gone vegan, whereas really being vegan is so much more about than what you eat. And this is where the second part of this conversation comes in. So I post this up on Facebook, and I'm so excited. Every time I post anything on Facebook, I'm so excited to hear people's reactions. I just love it. It's you know, interesting as I talk about in these videos. I'm recording this video right now. I don't get to have a live reaction for you. I don't get to see your facial expressions, hear your responses. I have to wait till you write back to me, right? And so there's always this excitement I have for a certain amount of time after I post anything online. So I share this post, and I'm refreshing every few minutes like a little nerd. And the first comment that comes in was, I don't know if I should read it directly. I don't want to call anybody out, so I'm not going to say names. But the first comment was, will she also stop wearing fur? I said, fingers crossed. And I was very careful about how I said that. I didn't want to say, I hope so, because I'm trying to celebrate what Jennifer Lopez has decided to do, not focus on what she's not doing yet. So I put that out there. I refresh the page a few minutes later, and then somebody else comes out, stop wearing fur, Jen. And I think about that, okay. I refresh it. A few minutes later, biggest fur hag, this will never happen. And somebody putting up like this crying symbol, like laugh, like I don't know if that's meant to be laughing, like, oh, what a joke. And then I refresh it again. The next person, she will never stop wearing fur. Now, I haven't refreshed my page for probably about 10 minutes now, but I would be willing to bet there are a lot more comments on there. And I just had to, immediately after those 4 comments, I wanted to make this video because I find it so interesting that, you know, for all the reasons I mentioned at the beginning of this video, all the positive aspects of someone like J-Lo eating vegan, that people, so many people's reactions so far were on the negative, what she's not doing. Hello, this woman was probably eating meat and dairy like a month ago, and she went a whole month or maybe even longer. We don't know. We don't know how long it's been. We have no idea what's going on besides what she said here and there. She's spent years and years and years eating meat and dairy, and yet we're frustrated with her for eating fur. Now, this is not to say that, of course, it's upsetting that she's wearing fur and she's promoting it to those fans. There's the whole section there, but what about the positive side? What about the impact she's making? This is huge. So think about this, and this is why I wanted to make this video, because I really believe it's so vital that we focus on the positive. And what's really interesting about this is the context in terms of what I'm realizing I'm very passionate about. So, Yesterday I made that video about positivity, and today, just very recently, within the past couple hours, I've been working on one of my ebooks, and this is all about how to position ourselves socially and act socially as a vegan. And through some of my research on perspectives to give, I was researching Colleen Petrick Goudreau, who's amazing, and I'll link to her down below. And here's a couple things that she said that I really want to share with you. So let's see here. Where would that be? Which one? There's so much. Well, okay, here's a bunch of different things. So I'll start with this. The power of example is the most profound gift we can give. Exactly. J-Lo is giving an example of how joyful and healthy a vegan diet is. It's profound. It's profound. She has given the world a gift. Let's see what else. A lot about focusing on the positive, and a lot about not assuming things about other people. So here's another great quote from Colleen. When you give people the information they need to make these choices that reflect their own values, they do change. The problem is, the more we keep telling people that it's too hard to change, the more they're going to believe you. The more we keep telling people that there's something radical about eating fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and grains and beans and mushrooms and herbs and spices, it's crazy. Food is the great converter. The perception is still so poor, so doing what you're doing and making good vegan food for people will continue to change that perception. So I could go on. Colleen has so much great information about veganism, and I love hearing the way that she phrases things. But my point there being is that food is number one. That is oftentimes the first reason people go vegan, is it's about the food. That's for me. I wanted to lose weight. Losing weight and going vegan is a huge part of how I got to where I am today. Food is the reason so many people are afraid to go vegan. So why would we focus on the negative side of this when J-Lo is presenting the most important part of veganism to the world? She is doing us a huge favor by making the food aspect of veganism seem phenomenal and exciting and easy. It is hard for some people to take clothing out of their life. There's so many things attached to that, but I think it's even harder for people to take food out of their lives. Yes, I agree. It would be phenomenal for J-Lo to stop wearing fur and leather and all those other animal products. And we can't assume that she's not going to. The fact that she's using the word vegan instead of plant-based or vegetarian or any other different words around that, she's already starting to think that way. And eventually, trust me, there's going to be so much information and so many people bombarding her. And just think about, like, what if she went on Ellen, or what if she met with someone like James Cameron, or all of these, Bill Clinton, these people who are getting really into veganism. They could give her a vegan book. She could start reading Skinny Bitch or something. She could watch Earthlings. Who knows what this woman is going to be exposed to as a result of adapting a plant-based diet. We cannot assume nor focus on what she's not doing. That is not constructive. What can we do to switch this to a positive side? We can start congratulating her for this choice and supporting her, asking her how we can help, not condemning her. It really gets me worked up, as you can see, that, here we are as vegans. We say that we're compassionate because we're helping the animals. What about compassion to other people? We need to be compassionate to one another, and this is something that may become a huge topic and a speaking point for me because I am so fed up with this. I am sick of people leaving negative comments towards me and to other people because it doesn't help. This is a low vibration. This is not raising us up. This is not making us better people. This is not changing the world. If all we focus on are helping animals, okay, so there'll be a lot of amazing animals in the world, but what about amazing people? Animals typically have much shorter lifespans than us. We can live to 100 years old and make a massive impact. Every person that we influence can make a bigger impact and spread and spread and spread. It's not just about the animals. It's not just about the food. It's not just about the environment. It's everything. But most importantly, it all comes back to love and compassion. And love and compassion is for ourselves, for other people, for animals, and for the environment. It's all connected. It's all part of the puzzle. So please, think about this. Think about the ways in which you are negative to other people. And trust me, I still have a long way to go myself. It is a process. And I have been there myself. I have compassion for the people that write these things. I totally get it. I've been vegan for almost 11 years now, and I have gone through many phases. But I really wish I had somebody early on saying what I'm saying to you and passing on this message, because not enough people are talking about this. Not enough people are talking about the compassion we must have for other people and supporting them no matter where they are. Shunning somebody is not going to make them feel good and not going to make them want to make a change. However, if we're positive, supportive, and loving, we're moving that vibration. We're pushing along positive energy, and that's how change happens. And this can be said about anything. This can especially be said about yourself. And maybe the people writing this are really hard on themselves, and that's the core of this. So start with yourself. Have compassion for yourself. Be loving towards yourself and everybody around you, and then start spreading it little by little. Yourself, the people closest to you, the people around you, the people at a distance like the celebrities. It's so important. I can't wait to hear your comments, whether you agree or disagree. I want to know not only if you agree or disagree, but what do you think we can do? What do you think the steps we need to take are to make a change here? How have you learned to do this? What have your shortcomings been? What are the challenges that you faced? How have you overcome this? How are you being more positive and proactively being loving and compassionate towards other human beings, no matter what stage they're in? This is not about perfection. This is about progress. All of us are flawed in some way or another, but we can all make changes to make progress. And I really think that J-Lo, Beyonce, Bill Clinton, whoever it may be, the progress they're making for themselves and passing that word on to other people is remarkable. And frankly, they're probably making a bigger difference in the world through their small actions than somebody who's not in the public eye that's completely vegan. Let's just be honest. They are the influencers. They have power. So we have to support them and raise them up, not bring them down. Really looking forward to your comments on this. Thank you so much for watching. If you're unfamiliar with Eco Vegan Gal and you came across this video, be sure to check out the links below in the description field. I love hearing from you in the comments here. I love hearing from you in social media. And you've got the resource of ecovegangal.com and the main Eco Vegan Gal YouTube page. Please subscribe to this channel if you enjoy these videos, and check out my newsletter as well, where I have lots of information about living a loving, kind, compassionate, healthy lifestyle. See you next time.